You two both ready?
Yeah.
Joshua, if you'd remember to do a game since that was your week.
I'm not going to answer that question until it gets time to the game.
Oh, here we go.
That either means it's terrible or there isn't one.
Or I'm still finishing it, maybe?
Oh no, that's even worse.
No, I'm not still finishing one. I might have not done one, though.
Let's just begin. Hello, and welcome to episode 162 of That King Thing. I am your host and eldest sibling, Thomas, and I am joined by middle sibling, Joshua.
Hello.
And littlest sibling, James.
Hello.
And we three kings of podcasting are... See what I did there?
See, you should say that before we say his names.
We three kings of podcasting are...
Thomas, James, and Joshua.
What the fuck?
I don't know, I had to try and make it rhyme.
Here to talk games and other random shit. I don't know how the real song goes, so I have no rhythm. I just know the line is we three kings of Orient are... Something.
Did one bring silver, one bring gold, or
One
something?
in a taxi,
No,
one in a car.
isn't it like one in a taxi,
one in a car, one on a scooter. Something. I can't remember. It's been that fucking long.
something else. Oh.
One on a scooter beeping his hooter.
That's it.
I don't know how you get
What
to
the
that.
fuck?
That is it. That is.
James, do you know the real song We Three Kings?
No.
You don't know it?
Oh, yeah. Wait, not the shit that you're singing, no.
No, I said the real song about We Three Kings. Is it a Christmas song? I guess it's a Christmas song, isn't it? Because it's about Jeebus.
Soft Google him. The lyrics, that is.
Soft Google the lyrics! All right, while Joshua soft Googles the lyrics, let's talk about what we've been doing this week. James?
Oh, I've actually done quite a lot, to be fair. Not going to lie. I've played... I went back and played Red Dead for about 4 minutes. Played Fight Night Champion. Played DayZ. Played the Marooners. I'm currently drinking out of a jerry can on DayZ.
Wait. You played Marooners?
Yeah.
Is that after my recommendation last week?
Yeah.
What do you think?
It's good. It's like quite chilled out. If you just want to like mess
It's
about.
chilled out. You're not playing it right, James.
It's chilled.
It's frantic as fuck.
Thomas, after talking about your recommendation, did you play Descenders on my recommendation 2 weeks ago?
No, but I know a listener has.
Okay. That's not...
Maybe that's not the answer you were looking for. But
Are you ready? Very quickly before we continue. We three kings of Orient are, bearing gifts we traverse afar, field and fountain, moor and mountain, following yonder star. That's the first paragraph of about 16.
yeah, we don't need the whole
first.
song. Now, soft Google We Three Kings parody lyrics, please.
It's we three kings of Orient are, one in a taxi, one in a car, one on a scooter beeping his hooter, something, blah, blah. I don't know.
Blah blah.
So basically, you've just repeated what we already knew.
Oh, there we go. One in a taxi lyrics. Actually there. That's what he came up with on Google.
Oh, God. At least we've got an episode name sorted. We the Kings of Orient are.
There's no link to lyrics. I will come back at you with the lyrics shortly. This is a hard
This is turning into a hard Google.
This is a hard
Turned into a
Google.
hard Google. So James has played many things.
Yes.
It's bizarre. Sorry, it threw me off then. Like, James
What is
has played
happening?
A list of things that doesn't include FIFA or Call of Duty.
Well, I have played both of those, but I mention them every week, so...
So hang on, you've played like 8 different games this week.
Yeah, I played quite a bit.
Who are you and what have you done with James?
Are you
I
on
don't know,
crack?
What? Don't tell people, man.
I love his reaction, which is like, what? It's like, how did you know? Oh, this podcast is just gets less and less about gaming every week sometimes. It's now just descended into us laughing at each other. That's the main...
That's the gist of this podcast.
That is the gist of it, isn't it? Yeah. Okay, cool. Anything else you want to talk about, James? Do you want to go into any details about any of the things you've played?
I met some interesting people on DayZ. I know that much.
Help me, please.
Yeah, I haven't quite come across anyone like that yet, but I'm hoping that will come one day.
Can you just very quickly recap that story for listeners who aren't aware of? Help me, please.
Okay, so we were basically on a form of DayZ. I don't know if it actually was DayZ.
Was it even DayZ? I'm going to open my Steam and see what's in my Steam library, I'll tell you.
It was a game of similar kind anyway. Zombies around and people and scavenging and shit. But we were basically playing that. Me and Thomas ended up getting fully kitted out. We found so much good stuff and we thought, we'll sit on top of this building and just wait for people to come towards the town. And a guy ran across the street and then about 8 zombies followed him. And he just went on the voice chat saying, help me, please. Someone help me, please. So me and Thomas, so we just take shots at him.
It was more the fact that he ran into that destroyed school bus. Yeah. And we both looked at him running the school bus and were like, dude, that is not a good idea. And he got himself in this school bus. The zombies then surrounded the school bus. And he was just sat in the school bus on general chat, voice chat, just going, help me, please. Somebody help me, please. Help me. So yeah, me and James sniped him. Yeah. And then he come running back for his stuff and going, somebody help me. So we sniped him again.
I've had a guy come up to me on DayZ whilst I've been playing, like literally quite recently as well. It's like today. And he came up to me and there was 2 of them originally, but one of them ended up leaving, but they were holding chests. Like they've obviously dug up some chests or something, but they were holding chests and they were like, hey, you want some loot? And I was just like, oh, okay. Like, yes, please. And I thought, this is a trap. Like, I just respawned back in because I just died. But I was like, this is definitely a trap. And then they gave me a shit ton of cool stuff and a can of spaghetti, right? And all this cool stuff.
Kind of spaghetti? What?
Well, this is where it gets to the spaghetti part. So they gave me, like, machetes, spades, all sorts and everything like that. So he said, like, well, we're going to go and try and kill this guy that's at factory because he's got a really good gun. Do you want to come and help us? So I was like, yeah, okay. Like, I'll jump along with that. Why not? And he said, get your can of spaghetti out. So I was like, okay. Like, where's this going? And it turns out, apparently, according to these 2 people, the can of spaghetti is the best, like, weapon that you can use with your hands.
The best weapon?
Apparently so. But we died very quickly.
Yeah, you've been bullshit.
By trying to murder someone with a can of spaghetti. It didn't go too well, to be honest. I had like a machete and stuff, and I was sort of thinking to myself, should I not just start slicing him up with my machete instead of treating him like a slice of toast and putting spaghetti on him?
If you smack your toast with a tin of spaghetti, you're doing it wrong.
That's how it works, Joshua.
What, by smacking your toast with the tin?
Smack your toast just with the tin of spaghetti.
I like spaghetti on toast.
Literally.
I'm trying to look through my free-to-plays, James, and see if I can find where it was that we played that one time, but I can't see it. So I really don't know what it was.
I've also had a guy come up to me and try and barter me for a jerry can that had some gasoline in. So I stood in front of him and drank it.
You drank the gasoline?
Yeah, I died.
You weren't getting it back.
The new Z infestation. The new Z is what it was.
That's the one.
I just found it. Help me, please. The reviews are mixed.
Depends on what experience.
We played it for a whole 4 hours, James.
Yeah,
and I have one friend who has played
well.
this game, which is you. Oh, they've got a battle royale mode now.
What?
Yeah. So yeah, that's James's week. Drinking gasoline and
Hitting people
with spaghetti tins.
Come at me, bitches.
Joshua, what about you?
Well, the last line is following yonder star like the original, so that sucked. But I have found a secret second verse that no one will have heard before.
What, of the parody?
Yeah. We three kings of Leicester Square selling pants a penny a pair. Quite fantastic, no elastic, not very safe to wear. And I can't make that shit up this quick. But yeah, there you go.
I don't know. That was terrible.
Google.
So that is quite possible
True.
that you just made it up.
I will link you to the page.
It's fine, thanks. Keep the link.
I have also played some DayZ with people. Craig Mitchell is one. He's the one who made me reinstall it and play it. I've had some weird experiences where I shot a guy in the back of the head when he was running away from us because he spawned in on a beach and did naught but flag us off and then ran off. So I'm like, fine, you little shit, I'm going to kill you. He was a trap. And somebody else shot me.
Yeah, that's happened to me quite a bit as well. I just get baited.
Yeah, I just got baited into it. I didn't care.
So that's
I
why I
weren't
started
bothered.
drinking gasoline.
But I then realised how much you pass out on that game when you've got no blood left.
Yeah, very quick.
Yeah.
You can't get up
Yeah,
and
fun
run away
experience.
because you will pass out in seconds and just lay there until you wake back up, which is just horrible.
I can't believe that people are like so interested in it in this day and age. Like, it's existed on PC for years.
No.
It just feels like, I don't know. I just don't get why it's so popular.
It still feels really unfinished on Xbox, though.
It still feels really unfinished on PC, Joshua.
I know, but there's a lot more to it on PC, isn't there? You can actually do a lot more on it, but it just feels really bad to play.
Well, originally it started out as a, if I remember right, it started out as a mod on Armour, I think. I could be wrong, but I think it did. And then it expanded out from there into its own game. But it did originally start as a mod. So, and
I've
then
also played Dauntless with you.
Oh yeah, we've obviously played more Dauntless. We've talked about Dauntless, don't we? I guess.
I suppose so. Yeah. And just 1 second before we do move off of that, did you know there's exotic weapons and armor? You find
what in Dauntless?
Blueprints. Yeah, when you're doing heroic.
You find them
when you're doing heroic patrols or whatever. You know, you're going to go kill a heroic one. They have a chance to drop heroic blueprints. So I've unlocked.
That's good to know.
I've found the helmet for a heroic set of armor, and I've found a hammer.
You're a helmet.
It cost a lot to make and shit, but a bit more unique than the usual armor. So that exists.
Interesting to know.
And then I've just done
Interesting to see where it goes after that.
Yeah. But yeah, I've just done my usual after that. Rocket League, that kind of crap. Phone
Rocket League?
games. Rocket League.
Phone games don't count. How many more times? You guys all have phones, right?
I won't.
Quote the
soon.
Immortal Blizzard line. Yours will be no good soon. Yours will just melt.
I know.
Because Huawei are just going to turn it
I'll
off.
be
Who are
sending it
we?
back as not fit for purpose.
Huawei are just going to self-destruct all the phones.
Who are
Completely
we?
off topic, but did you see that a phone set on fire during a Jason Manford gig a couple of nights ago, and they had to
No.
evacuate the entire theatre because it's set on fire? Serious. I was like, please be Huawei or whatever. I can't remember the real name now because all I can remember is when we were joking
Huawei.
saying Huawei. Huawei. That's the right name. But yeah, that happened. So, but nobody knows what make the phone was. They've not released the information.
It's Samsung.
Samsungs are quite notorious for setting on fire and
Yeah.
blowing up in people's pockets, aren't they? Samsung's detonate, Huawei steal your data, and iPhones just
Deteriorate
intentionally
quickly.
break, apparently, after a set length of time to make you buy the new one.
Yep.
I say apparently because it doesn't always happen. It tends to happen most once I've dropped mine.
Yeah,
gonna lie.
when you've inflicted damage to it, then it breaks.
Yeah, like, I've always blamed it on,
don't like
oh, there's a
me.
new version and suddenly it's suddenly it's not working. But really it's, oh, there's a new version and I coincidentally dropped my phone on a pavement 2 days ago and now it doesn't work. Okay, so that's that, I guess. I don't really have a huge amount to add other than Dauntless.
I've played the most games this week.
You actually have.
well
Like, I
done.
played little bits of other stuff like Ring of Elysium, played a few games, Overwatch, played a few games. I've updated Elder Scrolls Online because Elsewhere is now out for PC, so I've updated that, ready to get my key sorted for that. I feel like I bought a new game. I bought this. Oh, I started playing Rainbow Six Siege on PC a little bit the other night. Because obviously before I'd only played that on console. So I bought a Steam key for that. I've been playing that a little bit on PC.
Nice.
And then played something called, what is it now? Business Tour, I think it's called. It's basically Monopoly, but ripped off and done in a different style to avoid copyright infringement. But played that and got really drunk on a live stream. So yeah, that was funny.
Nice.
Other than that, I think that's it.
All right then.
On to the next bit. The next bit.
The next bit.
The next bit. Why are you laughing and giggling and clapping?
I don't get it.
We both said it at the same time.
You said it after James, in fairness.
Yeah,
said
it
it
was
at the
quite a
same
bit
time.
after. You said it as if you were reacting to what I'd said.
Yeah, it sounded
Well,
like
clearly
you were copying
clearly
him.
there's a delay then. So I said it at the exact. He was saying it
In
as I
your
said
head.
Well, that'll be fun for the rest of the podcast. Moving on. News! Okay, everyone, it's official. Anthem is dead.
What?
There's been an
Shut up.
autopsy.
Yeah.
It is dead.
No one gives a shit about that fucking piece of shit.
No, literally, people don't.
So,
It is
so
very
it's
true.
so
People
aggressive.
literally don't give a shit. It is dead. This basically came, well, a few people have seen it all over, but specifically this news to me came from Inside Gaming. And they were pointing out the fact that if you go on Xbox and you look at the like most played games list, to, you know, like when you're browsing through the store or whatever, and you want to maybe look for a new game, you can go on the most played games list, and it's a list of 49 games, weirdly, rather than 50. But that top list, Anthem is not anywhere in it. And there are some odd games in there that you would not expect to see. I can't remember what they were off the top of my head, but they were weird games. Like, there were more people playing a game that released 4 years ago than there was playing Anthem, because it was in the top 50. And then they were talking about that last week, the streaming stats on Twitch, which is not a perfect barometer, but it's a good thing to go on. Like, it shows you how popular a game is, at least within that community. And it had an average of 113 viewers, and an average of 15 channels streaming it, which is ridiculous.
Fucking dreadful.
And I kind of checked this out as an example when I can't remember who I was talking to. I was talking to someone anyway about this whole thing, about how dead Anthem is. And I checked the stats kind of live. Even right now, at this prime time to be streaming and watching streams, like, it's evening in the UK and Europe. It's sort of late afternoon over in the States. It's a huge time to be streaming. There are 302 people watching Anthem right now. That is it.
Because it's fucking dreadful.
And, oh my god, a huge proportion of them are trolls. One is a stream called seal.mp4, and it has 15 viewers, and it's just a seal. It's a video of a seal on loop. Oh my god, this is incredible. Right, okay, I'm just sending you this link. Just click that link, boys. That is brilliant. It's just there's one stream with 15 viewers. There's another one here with 2. There's a whole bunch with 1 viewer. And there's just tons with no viewers. There is some kind of bot attacking. This is brilliant. There is a bot attacking Twitch and just streaming this instead of Anthem. This is fucking brilliant. I'm just going to put this into our Discord. So if you're in our Discord, feel privileged because you're about to see something. Or, no, you're not about to see it because
you should have already in the future.
You will have already seen this because...
there's one here that's a 24-hour Anthem stream. How are they going to do that when it's going to crash and kick about halfway?
Being streamed as Anthem. Lol. And then will make more sense tomorrow when you hear the
Put lol on
episode.
It. Lol's always a good way to send off a sentence. Did you put lol on it?
I put a lull on it, yes.
A lull.
I put a Twitch lull though, rather than a lull.
Yeah, I understand.
That's more effective. But yeah, is there actually anyone really streaming it? Okay, there's one stream that's got 91 viewers and another stream with 81 viewers. So there are actually some people playing it and some people watching it. But these seal videos are fucking brilliant. There's so many of them.
There is. I'm scrolling down
so
now.
Many of them.
There is absolutely shit tons. Oh wow, it's still loading them in.
Wow. So yeah, Anthem's dead. Seals are in. Oh, that's another potential. There's another potential episode title right there. We Three Kings of Orient are. Anthem is dead. Seals are not.
Oh dear.
I think it's good like that, not rhyming. I think it works.
Well, no, it rhymes. It just doesn't make sense as a sentence. The other thing of note, actually, is that there should have been an event or a bit of content called Cataclysm that was due to begin in May. And it's now, at the time of recording, the evening of the 29th. And the Anthem Twitter account hasn't tweeted anything. Oh, no, they have tweeted something this evening, actually, since before we start recording. Game Update 1.2 brings new features to free play mode, additional legendary missions, and more. Here's what else is coming up, and then a link.
Is it a load of baby seals?
Oh. They've delayed Cataclysm. The news story was going to be that Cataclysm still hasn't happened within the month of May, like the original road plan said it would. And then this information that I'm just learning about as we record is saying, speaking of the Cataclysm, you're probably wondering when it's going to release. Rather than rush it out the door, we want to take time and get feedback from you and make changes based on what we hear. In order to do that, we're releasing a public test server. So basically, the Cataclysm is the game imploding on itself and dying. That's what's happening. That is the Cataclysm here. Not an event. The Cataclysm is just the death of the game.
I think they did that when they released it.
Such a good concept that they've just thrown away.
I can't believe they had the foresight to know the game was going to die by the end of May to create an event called Cataclysm for the end of May. That's amazing foresight, that.
It is, but I still want my money back.
Yeah.
I'm just glad I didn't.
Best thing is, I just said, yeah, I didn't even spend a penny on it, so I'm alright. But I still want my money back.
Joshua, I want my money back. James, yeah, me too. I want his money back. So that is Anthem. Moving on, Pokemon Sleep.
Sleep.
What is that? What the fuck is that?
It's a teddy bear.
It is basically Pokemon. Well, okay, so Pokemon, the Pokemon company, have decided to announce a game that involves Pokemon and you being asleep. So the tagline, which I found fucking hilarious on the trailer, was where's it gone? Pokemon transforms sleeping into entertainment. What?
Yeah.
And they're creating this new device, let's call it, this accessory called not a Pokemon Go Plus, those little things that we used to have, but a Pokemon Go Plus Plus.
Oh.
And what this one does is it functions exactly the same as a Pokemon Go Plus and tracks your steps and lets you take a Pokemon out for a walk with you. But then it also, when you put it on your bed, tracks your sleep
Whoa.
and does things with your Pokemon.
Well, I bet it does.
And this just strikes me as a very weird conversation had in Japan of it was like the original conversation was, okay, so people don't get out enough these days. People need exercise. What should we do? And then the other guy's like, yeah, let's make a Pokemon game about walking that gets them to walk around and get people active again. The boss is like, this is a brilliant idea. Let's do it. So they make Pokemon Go. 3 years later, there's another meeting and it's like, okay, we've got people walking around, but there's this epidemic where people just aren't getting enough sleep anymore. What do we do about it? It's like, why don't we make a game where you sleep and Pokemon do stuff? And then the guy's like, you're a fucking genius, mate. These idiots are going to lap this up. And then they just make this game, Pokemon Sleep.
We
and
own
that's
your
it. That is
journeys.
just how
Now
I
we
imagine
own your
these board
dreams.
meetings go.
The best part is you're gonna want to go to sleep, and when you want to sleep, you fucking can't. So this game is gonna stop people sleeping because they're gonna be like, "What my Pokemon doing? What are they doing? I can't sleep because I know you're gonna do something when they do. I'm gonna miss out."
But this is the problem. If you don't sleep, the Pokemon won't do anything.
Exactly.
That's the dilemma. You have to sleep. I've not really seen the full details of it. It just seems mental. It's basically the Pokemon company are like, in what way can we get people to embrace Pokemon 24/7? So if you're not sleeping with Pokemon, that sounds weird, or walking with Pokemon, or playing Pokemon, or watching Pokemon, then they'll find a way to insert Pokemon into your life somehow.
Of course.
So they've basically got at least 20 hours of your day covered now, easily.
Now just for the
They just need to find a way to. They just need a way to find a way to make poop time a Pokemon friendly. Pokemon poop with the Pokemon Go Plus Plus or plop plop.
Plop plop.
Pokemon Go plop plop.
Pokemon toilet roll. Just that
What?
time where you got to put it down and wipe.
It counts how many strokes you've done. It's like, clean bottom, your Pokemon has evolved. Ding. This has gone down a weird path. In less weird news, Pokemon Sword and Shield are going to have their own Nintendo Direct in about a week's time on June the 6th. It'll be about a 15-minute live stream, and there'll be more details of Sword and Shield to find out about that. So anyone interested in those games, myself included, that will be something worth checking out, I guess.
Indeed,
They'll probably find a way of linking it to Pokemon Sleep and make me put my Switch next to my bed or something.
Go to sleep. Jigglypuff, Jigglypuff.
I swear Jigglypuff's like a descent from Kirby.
Is it you're all asleep now?
Well, I think we put us listeners to sleep in other ways, so you don't need that detail, Joshua. Moving on, the new Call of Duty will apparently just be Modern Warfare, it looks like, rather than Modern Warfare 4. And allegedly, it's a soft reboot of this sub-series, if you want to call it that, because there's obviously more than one storyline or whatever you want to call them in COD. And apparently it's a soft reboot. According to Kotaku and their sources, it's meant to be kind of quite an emotional thing and quite troubling at times, and they likened it to the infamous mission of No Russian from Modern Warfare 2.
They're talking about a campaign in Call of Duty.
Yeah, it would seem so. Yeah,
that's magical. I didn't think that were going to happen again.
The only thing this reminds me of, which kind of annoys me, but doesn't at the same time. I'm very indifferent about it. But do you remember, Joshua? I know you will, and possible listeners out there will, but Joshua specifically will remember this. When Danger Close decided to reboot Medal of Honor, soft reboot, and they took a Medal of Honor franchise, just called it Medal of Honor to kind of restart the franchise and set it in modern era rather than in World War II era.
I do indeed remember this, and it was brilliant.
2 very, very good games that got far too much shit, especially by today's standards, with the absolute bollocks that gets released these days and is called a £60 AAA title. 2 extremely good games with very raw and emotional storylines within them, and EA canned them. And look at fucking EA now. That's your fucking just desserts, you pigs.
You fucking pigs.
You fucking pigs. But yeah, that's what this reminds me. The way this is all worded reminds me of that. The term soft reboot and an emotional and troubling story in terms of campaign. These things just give me flashbacks to what happened with Medal of Honor. Now, that kind of, I'm not going to lie, makes me interested in this COD game. But I will reserve judgment until I've actually seen it for myself. But if it is anything like what the Medal of Honor campaigns were, I'm sorry to say that I will probably end up buying them and playing them and trying for myself, because it'd take quite a lot to beat the end of Medal of Honor Warfighter for me, because that game to this day is still one of the greatest I've ever played, and I still watch the final cutscene like at least a couple of times a year. I'll probably go and watch it after this because we've talked about it and it's in my head now. So I don't know what you two think about this.
I'll keep my eye on it.
Because
I'm not.
Well, I think
COD's
COD's in a bit of a shit place at the minute because they're relying on microtransactions and shit, and everyone's obviously anti-microtransactions, and they've also sacked Sledgehammer off as well. So I think they're in a bit of a fucking. They're trying to pull people back in and be like, "Look, we're going to do what you want," sort of thing. And I think this is exactly what people want. To be fair, just a modern day game, a reboot of one of the older ones, which were brilliant and had nothing wrong with them whatsoever. So I think they're trying to go down like a route of making people happy.
They have probably gone and taken a look at the past few years and thought, what went wrong? Why did people start giving us shit? What happened? And then realised Sledgehammer came in.
You fucking shits! You've done this to us.
I don't think you can put the blame solely at that door, but focusing so heavily on the multiplayer element, back in the time they started doing it was probably a good thing, but they pushed it a bit too far, I think. Like, think about games at this moment in time that win awards. You're talking, fair enough, there's Fortnite, but in terms of like big awards like Game of the Year winners and candidates, you're talking games like Red Dead Redemption, God of War, Spider-Man, Horizon Zero Dawn, and so on and so forth. You're talking big single-player epics.
With depth and immersion in it. Not
exactly, because that's what... I say that's what makes a game. There's nothing wrong with booting up a game where the sole purpose is to drop into a map with 100 other people or 99 other people, whatever, shoot the fuck out of each other and be the last to survive. There's nothing wrong with a game like that, but it's very linear, and you start, you kill some people, you die, you start again.
Yeah.
And there's only so many times you can do that, especially if you're a yearly franchise. Like PUBG, Fortnite, Ring of Elysium, Realm Royale, whatever else there is out there, H1Z1. The reason these
Apex
games
Legends.
like kind of survive is because, well, yeah, Apex is a new one. Like, but the reason these games survive is because they've got that linear start, kill or die, start, kill or die process, but they've also got like this element of progressional content in it that, yes, I suppose you get with the prestige thing, but when you're throwing it out in a new game that costs 50 quid, $60 plus every year, when these games are either already free to play, or even if they're not free to play, they're at least adding this content in like pro bono. They're not making you pay for the content, and there's some kind of evolution to the game that's part of the game's core purchase, and you're not having to buy a new AAA title every year. That's why they're losing people.
Let me just throw something at you as well. I sat and worked out the other day when I was on COD. If I wanted to obviously get the season pass and an outfit for my character that I play as and a couple of camos for my gun, I literally sat and worked out all the costs from the game, the season pass, and the actual like purchases in game to get it. It cost me about £135
to get an outfit
altogether for the game, season pass,
including his
outfit,
game
and the camo
everything, yeah.
on the gun. About £135 it works out at. It's ridiculous what they charge for it, because obviously there's other things in the packs as well. It's not just the outfit, but it'll be the outfit's the main thing, but then you get other things with it as well.
Yeah.
So they charge like 25 quid.
I know
for
that
it.
games aren't
It's ridiculous.
Games aren't 40 quid anymore. They're like 50 or 60 quid. What happened to paying for your game and your backpacks? And that's it. You were done. And people looked forward to your map packs and came back to them.
The best thing is as well, the map packs, they're just rebooting old maps. They've got WMD on it.
Yeah, they are just...
See, this is the other thing. This is the thing that actually concerns me about this new COD being Modern Warfare soft reboot. And this is my prime issue with it. COD Modern Warfare was obviously a game, Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare. We've then had that remastered and bundled in with something else, where you were forced to buy a more recent game. They realised that was a bad idea and released it on its own. Yeah. So that's 1, 2, 3 releases of Call of Duty Modern Warfare. And then if this is a soft reboot and it actually is going somewhere in the direction of back to COD 4 Modern Warfare, that is just like 4 releases of the same game.
Yep.
In the space of 10 years. Which is ridiculous, if that's the case. So I hope it's not actually involving Soap and Price and all them that have been part of it, because if it is, and it is just a redo of the old stuff, then I don't think the gaming community will be very happy, let's put it that way. And we all know what gaming outrage culture is like these days.
Crazy.
We actually get things changed.
It can literally cause companies to shut down.
Yeah, it does literally cause people to get shut down now. So, yeah. Moving away from that, Sonic, as we know, was being redesigned for his movie. They were making the CGI changes to keep the fans happy. But they have announced that it will be pushed back to February next year now.
Hey, look, gaming outrage, it's doing its job.
Well, I guess this is gaming outrage doing its job, I guess. But
I hope, if they don't do it right, what if they just make him a fucking weird blob now just to piss us off? It's like, right, you wanted him changed? Here you go. Here's Sonic. He's a little ball now. Enjoy.
I'm intrigued to know where they go with it. Whether they sort of just change the body proportions. Because to be fair, the furry element of it didn't really bother me. It was just the proportions of him were all weird and wrong.
For me, it was the proportions and his eyes. His eyes didn't work. They needed to be like.
Do you know what I think?
They are.
I've got a feeling that I could be wrong on this because I've not really looked enough into it. But knowing what I know about how Detective Pikachu worked, I wonder how much of it was motion capped by Ben Schwartz, who's voicing Sonic. And that's why the proportions are very human, because they've done some full body cap for it. Now, I think with Ryan Reynolds in Detective Pikachu, they only motion capped his face to get the accuracy of the expressions for what he was saying and, the emotion of what he was acting in his voice. And I don't think they did a full body cap for that because obviously the body's weird because it's a mouse thing. And I think maybe that's possibly where this has come from, if Ben Schwartz has done any motion cap. But I don't know if he definitely has. So, but that would make sense as to why the proportions were so off in the first place. Because if he's motion capped that, everything's going to be scaled to his proportion, isn't it?
Yeah.
Pretty much, yeah.
Like, it's a theory, anyway.
If it's editable, then it could have been done in first place. If they can change the entirety of his appearance in that movie, then they could have done it to begin with. So the motion cap shouldn't have limited them to that. It was just easier to do that.
Yeah, it's possibly laziness, but I don't want to like discredit anyone that has actually worked hard on it, because we don't know if like somebody who's been part of that animation has gone, this just looks shit, mate. We need to change the way that he looks.
I hope somebody was sat there every day complaining about what they were doing because he looked wrong.
Yeah. Yeah, and like you can say things like that, but depending on the position that you're in, you're just going to get knocked back, aren't you, by somebody more senior and like, nope, this is how we're doing it. It'll work, and so on. So, see how that turns out. But yeah, February 14th, I think, weirdly, that is due to come out. So that'll be interesting. Valentine's Day film, Sonic. Hey, lady, want to go on a sexy Valentine's date with me? Oh, what we're going to do? We're going to go fast, girl. Oh, yeah? Yeah. Ding! Sonic tickets. Funny. Last thing. This, warning, E3 spoiler if people like to wait for E3 things. If you want to maybe not spoil what's potentially coming at E3 and you want to be surprised, skip ahead 2 minutes, because I don't think we'll talk about it too much. So skip ahead 2 minutes now. Borderlands 2 looks like it may be getting some DLC to be announced at E3, and the idea is to bridge a gap into the story of Borderlands 3, which we already know is coming and available for pre-order. Which is a cool idea, really, I think. Do you guys agree?
Yeah, it is,
I don't know, because it's nice for them to kind of restore an old game that a lot of people are still playing and would maybe go out and pick up and buy. That's the encouragement, I guess, is to pick it up and go out and buy it, or get the Handsome Jack collection or something like that. So
it's actually really good, that, because it's you don't always get it. Normally you do start off a new game, there's like the third or fourth one in a series. If you've not played one before, it don't matter. But if you played one before, what happened to you? The only thing that I can think of that led you into the next one is possibly Halo games. Like at the end of number 3 when he goes to sleep. And then at the beginning of number 4, he wakes up.
Yeah.
And at the end of number 2, he's falling from sky. And in number 3, he's on ground. I can't think
just shut up now, because the people who skipped it are back. Shut up.
Hello, skippers.
The people who skipped it are back.
Hi, skippers.
Hi, skippers. Welcome back.
No one skipped.
And seems how you skipped it. Let's give you a reward for skipping it.
Time to play a game.
I say give you a reward. This is probably the bit where Joshua goes, I ain't done a game, really.
Well, I have.
Good.
So you know.
Okay, so this is the time of the week where we play a game, and it is going to involve Joshua hosting, and me and James going head to head. The scores as it stands at the moment are me on 9 wins, Joshua on 3, and James on 2. The last to 10 is supposed to do a forfeit, and I'm potentially about to hit 10 if I win today, which is interesting, considering it's still May. It's May.
It is indeed, man.
Anyway, I guess I'll let Joshua explain his game. For those of you who don't know about Joshua's games, they're usually brilliant concepts poorly executed. So
here's a
let's see
brilliant.
what he's got in store for us today.
Here's a brilliant execution of a poor concept. I did that.
Oh, so he's going the
on
opposite
purpose.
this week. Okay.
Basically, it's just a bunch of questions about places and who's in charge of them, or something along those lines. 10 questions like that, and a tiebreaker. That's it. So it's about it's a themed small quiz where I'll give you a bit of a clue or tell you a place. You've just got to tell me who rules it, who's the king, who's in charge, who leads it. That kind of shit.
Who rules it? Who's the king? Who's in charge?
That kind of shit. Who's in charge here? That's the game. That's the name of the game now. Who's in charge here?
Who's in charge?
We don't know.
Certainly not me when I'm doing my game. It's just all chance. Who would like to go first? There's 10 questions, and I do have a tiebreaker.
James,
They
you might
will
as well
be
go first,
passed,
seeing as how-
and
I will go first.
okay. Who is the leader or in charge of Whiterun?
Whiterun?
This one gets
In which
mentioned.
era?
In the era of the game Skyrim.
Okay.
Vanos. I don't know.
Vanos.
That's just a name I've heard thrown around before.
Incorrect. But
You
it
don't mean Thanos?
Yeah, that one. Close enough. Point for me, thank you.
It's pretty close. James, you know that Thanos isn't the ruler of Whiterun, and I'm talking about
Well, I clearly don't
Avengers,
know that.
right? You don't know who Thanos is. Are you shitting me?
No, he's in...
Please tell me.
What?
Please tell me you know who Thanos is.
I ain't got that far in Avengers yet.
So you do know who he
James!
is.
So you know who he is then?
Oh.
Even if you ain't got that far in Avengers, you know who Thanos is.
Yeah, I know of him. Don't know who he is, though.
He's the last Titan. But anyway, Thomas, it does get passed to you. So let's get you that 10th point.
When Thomas gets this right, he's won.
Who is the leader of Whiterun?
Hang on, how many points do I get? What?
Right. If you win, you've won everything, haven't you? You've got you to full 10 wins. So I said, let's get you
Me
that
and
10th
Joshua have
point.
to...
Oh right, that's why I was confused.
No.
During Skyrim, it's Balgruuf, isn't it?
It is
Jarl's
Jarl
Balgruuf.
Jarl Balgruuf, yes. For some reason, Google.
Well, yeah, but
Docs
Jarl is like their word for
it's their
king
leader
or
so
whatever. Yeah.
Google likes to translate, to autocorrect that to Carl. So it's now Carl Balgruuf. But yes,
Okay.
you do get a point, and you get the next question. Congratulations. Question 2. Who ruled Albion during the Old Kingdom era?
Old Kingdom.
Yes.
Oh,
I have
come
made
on.
them not easy questions.
I don't know.
I'm aware of that, but I should know things like this because it's Fable.
Well, I don't know it.
Yeah, but you're not obsessed with Fable like me and Joshua are. Can I have a clue as to which bit is officially classed as the old era?
Anything from when the ruined buildings in the first game were actually buildings and people lived there. That's the closest I can get. I've not got an actual time stamp on it.
I genuinely can't remember any names. I know that Jack still existed back then. to say Aeons because it's a sword of Aeons.
No.
I like the logic. Give him a point for logic.
That's the only thing I can think.
To be honest, they also use the Sword of Aeons, but...
And well, that's where I was going
Yeah,
with
no.
it, because the sword of Aeons is like the thing that gets passed down. Oh,
Don't say it,
is
because
it
James got
it's
to
not
guess
Arco-
next.
Oh,
What?
shit.
Oh, shit.
James, it's your go now on the same question.
I've just remembered I nearly said it. Did you hear me nearly say it, Joshua? Was I right
I
with
heard
what I
you
nearly
nearly
said?
say it.
Was that right?
I'm not saying that until James has answered his go.
He didn't. He hasn't got a clue what I said, so just tell me if it was right or not.
It was right.
Hi.
Fuck.
James, who
Just talk
ruled
about it like it's
Albion
not
during
here.
the Old Kingdom era of Albion?
George Michael.
Can I give the right answer now? I've remembered it.
You can, yes.
Is it
Which is
the
the correct-
Archons?
It's the Archons, yeah. 3 Archons came
Yeah.
through. Jack, King, and Queen.
Yeah,
And Jack
and
killed
then
them,
Scarlet
and then-
Robe. Scarlet Robe, and then the bloodline that is the game come
Yeah.
from the same bloodline,
Come
don't
from
they?
the same bloodline, yeah. James, your question.
Yes.
Question number 3. Who rules the Onion Kingdom?
Oh, shit.
You've been playing Overcooked recently as well, haven't you?
Who, me?
Is that what it's from? Overcooked?
James.
I am.
James,
What?
yeah. What?
I thought you said you played it recently.
No.
I don't
Oh,
think he's ever
sorry.
touched Overcooked.
I'm sure after I said I'd been playing it, one of you two said that you'd been playing it. And because I know Josh already
I've
did
been
it,
playing
I
it,
assumed
yeah.
it was James. You played it before I played it.
That's true.
I don't have a clue.
Who rules
Um,
the Onion Kingdom, James? Guess.
Onion. Onion King.
Onion!
So I get who are the rulers of the old kingdom in Fable? James gets, can you name the leader of the Onion Kingdom?
Yeah, true. Don't complain, Thomas, because the next question works out quite well for you. Northrend.
What?
Oh, well, are we talking about the Frozen Throne here?
Yeah.
Which name do you want? Because there's multiple names I could give you here.
I want the one that's based in the game that I'm referring to.
You want the do you want the name of the role that you become if you take the
The
throne?
ruler of it, regardless of who that is
Is known as the Lich King.
correct.
I was just being careful because
I
you could have
know.
wanted Arthur's name. You could have wanted what's his face's name that takes over after you've killed
Yeah.
Arthur's.
Correct.
Or
I
you
could
could
have.
have
wanted-
I won't be in that meeting.
Tennis or what? Is it tennis?
I can't remember what
I
it's
can't
called.
remember. But anyway,
No one cares. No one goes.
I
back
remember who it
afterwards.
is now. Yeah.
James.
Yarp.
In Halo, the Covenant leaders are called Mercy, Truth, and Regrets. Before each of their names, they have a word, like we have Mr. or Mrs. What do they have? I tried to simple
What
that
the
down as
fuck?
much as I could. So I
Well, you
say
didn't.
Mr. King for my own name or for
Yes.
your name. They are called something Mercy, something Truth, something Regrets. What is that word?
Brute? I don't know.
Brutes are like the low end ones.
Incorrect, yeah. Thomas, do you have a guess on the Covenant leader's title?
Isn't it something like oh go on. I had it in my head when I gasped. It's gone.
That's not right.
It's completely gone. Oh fuck.
It is 2-0, 2-1 to Thomas.
It's like High Council or something, isn't it? Like the High Council of Regret, the High Council of Mercy, and whatever the other one is. Is it High Council?
It's not High Council. I'm going to take that as your answer. It's Prophet.
Fucking hell.
Prophet of Mercy.
High Prophet of Regret.
Yeah.
Fuck.
They're based on a religion.
I knew I was on the right lines. I just couldn't remember. Fucker.
That was question number 5. It is 2-1 to Thomas, and it's Thomas's question.
Ooh.
The cog in Gears of War are basically the army, but what does cog stand for? And I'm sure I've asked this before in one of my quizzes before, but no one got it.
I don't think you ever have, because... What is it? The coalition... Something... There's a word in the middle, and I can't remember what it is. Because the answer I nearly gave then is coalition of government, but it's not. There's another O word in it, and I don't know what it is. Coalition of...
I'll wait here for a minute from now.
Organised government? Coalition of organised government?
Is that your answer? Well, I'm taking that as your answer. It's not that.
You're going to have to. That means he's wrong.
Yeah.
I'm going to think...
I've given James far too much. He's used a different O word.
Logically, and say, instead of government, gears.
No, the government beats our nose right, James. You fucked up, mate. You fucked up.
It's not, no. It's coalition of ordered governments. Which doesn't sound as good as COG. Or
coalition
organised.
of ordered governments. That's
governments, yes.
not COG.
It is, correct.
Yeah, I know, but the of is the one that's not part of the initials usually. That's why I knew I was onto something, because I knew it was coalition of government with something else that was an O word.
Yeah,
But I just couldn't remember what it was. What was it in the end? I missed that, sorry.
Coalition of ordered governments. I asked for what it's standard for, not for what the abbreviation is. Because the abbreviation would just be coalition ordered governments or whatever. I don't fucking know. I don't do English.
Cool.
Just give us the next question.
Next question. It's James's question, so you could tie it up, James, if you get this right. In a Pokemon battle between Charmander and Squirtle, who's in charge?
What?
In a Pokemon battle between Charmander and Squirtle, who's in charge?
The Pokemon trainers.
Correct!
Was that actually right?
I didn't think you'd get that. You've tied it up, correct? Thomas,
I'm
here's
so
your
confused.
question now. You've got that correct.
That was right!
That was right. That is the answer I was looking for.
I thought you wanted
No,
I thought you wanted like specific names of trainers that it'd be.
No, because anyone can have one. In a Pokemon battle between Charmander and Squirtle,
Why is James getting these ridiculous and bullshit questions? Like, in a Pokemon battle, who's in charge? The trainers.
Yeah.
Who's in charge of the Onion Kingdom? The Onion King?
Thomas.
Oh, I better get a fucking easy one now.
Who is?
I wish I'd gone first.
Who is the self-proclaimed king of Dreamland?
I can't remember what Dreamland is.
Isn't that not? Oh no, that's DreamWorks. Sorry, I was about to say it's a film maker thing.
Shrek. It's Shrek. That's the answer. He's also the Onion King.
What's Dreamland? Can I not have a clue? Come on. What is it?
I'm not giving you a clue.
What game's it from?
I can't give it away without giving it away too much. I can't.
I know the answer. If that helps.
I don't remember what game Dreamland's from.
I know the answer.
Do you?
Yeah.
Do you actually know the answer?
Yeah.
All right then.
Wait a minute. Give me the full thing again that you said.
The self-proclaimed king of Dreamland.
I think I know what it might be. And I think I now know why James knows what it is. James telling me he knows what it is what's giving it away. Is it King Dedede or whatever his fucking name is from Kirby?
Yes, it is.
Yeah. Can I have that?
Yeah.
I was gonna say Kirby, so at least that saved me some embarrassment.
Jesus is like, I was going to say Kirby.
I don't play games. Fucking shit.
James,
Yes.
it's question 9 next. You will tie it up again if you get this right.
I like tying things up.
In
Yeah, but then I got a
Oblivion,
question, mate.
in the Oblivion game,
Oh.
Oof.
This is where I
Why have we
should
got
have
2
paid attention.
Skyrim ones in here, 2 Elder Scrolls ones in here, Joshua?
because
Come
they
on.
have emperors
Diversify.
and kings and shit. Emperor Uriel Septim, the first person that you speak to in the game, who's the voice actor for that character?
Are you taking the piss? Are you actually taking the piss?
Nope, I am not, because if you heard it, you should know it. If you paid attention to that voice, you should know this voice. That is
You
the
should at least
clue.
be able to
That
give me
is
a
what you're getting.
snippet of his thing.
This thing. What are you after?
Like a snippet of his voice.
His foreskin. He's after the foreskin.
Get me a snippet. Get me a snippet of his voice. I've not heard it in fucking ages.
Come on.
That's time.
Josh, you might have to at least give him a clue, because I wouldn't have had a fucking clue what you were on about. Wait a minute. No, James.
Yes?
I think I remember who it is.
Is it someone that I know?
Bastard.
Sean Bean.
I hope that's right now. I know he's in Oblivion, that's all.
It's not. Is that your answer, James? Because I've not done the clue yet. I was going to put his voice on.
Give him the clue, because I just gave him a clue to a random voice I knew was in Oblivion.
Right. Okay. I don't know if this is going to be a good clip or not, because it's from YouTube.
Sean Bean is in Oblivion, isn't he?
Shut up.
Sure he is.
Let me see your face. You are the one from my dreams. Then the stars were right. And this is the day. Gods give me strength.
I know who that is.
Assassins attacked my sons, and I am next. My blades are leading me out of the city along a secret escape route. By chance, the entrance to that escape route leads through your cell.
That's all you get.
I know who that is.
The moment I
Captain
turned this
Picard.
game on as a teenager, I knew who that was.
It's Captain Picard. It is another Yorkshireman, to be fair. He doesn't sound like a Yorkshireman, but he is one. Jean-Luc Picard. How many clues have I got to give you? He's from Yorkshire.
At what
Jean-Luc
point
Picard.
are you wanting him to tie this
He
up?
rides around in a wheelchair a lot.
Oh, Xavier.
I need a
Yeah,
actor's name.
keep going. You getting there?
I don't know the actor's name.
You don't know his
Oh
name?
my god!
James.
How?
He's the most famous bald man in the history of bald men.
He's not as famous as Phil Mitchell.
Yeah,
But what's Phil Mitchell's real actor's name? So not that famous then.
exactly?
Steve McFadden.
No, he's right. He's getting there.
That's been.
I'm just going to drink.
Why is it James knows all the EastEnders actors? Can I just point this out? There's no wonder the guys from EastEnders Weekly like this
watch
podcast.
it.
It's because they wait for these little tidbits of fucking EastEnders knowledge from James, and they're like, yeah!
I saw something earlier on the news thing on Google about a deleted scene from Captain Marvel where she apparently assaults an
I've not seen it
ex-EastEnders
yet.
actor. Do you know who that is?
I've not seen it yet. So.
She's apparently this guy
James
is in
probably
the
avoids
film.
shit like that.
What?
Oh, it don't matter then.
Which film's he in? Captain America?
Captain Marvel.
Captain Marvel, so that's what I meant.
Yeah, he's riding a motorbike, he gets off, and in a deleted scene, rather than just steal his bike, like what she does in the actual film, she shakes his hand and sort of shocks him. It's not ruining anything in film, because it's in deleted scenes. But apparently everyone's really annoyed because she shouldn't do that.
It's
You've seen it, then.
I've seen the news article that you're on about. I think it's Sean Slater is the character's name.
Oh, Sean.
He was in it that long ago that I know who he is.
I don't
Because
remember.
it must have been like 10 years ago or something.
I really don't remember. But anyway, James, you've got like 20 seconds now. I'm not giving you any more time, so I'm pretty sure Thomas knows this. Uriel Septim's voice.
I forgot the fucking question. Oh, yeah, I remember now.
I don't know his name. It's the guy from X-Men. The bald guy.
It's up to you, Thomas, whether or not I give him that.
What did he say?
The
He
bald
said the guy from
X-Men.
X-Men. He knows it's the guy who plays Xavier.
No, because I told him it was the guy from
No, he
X-Men
didn't.
as a clue.
You said he's bald and he
You
goes round
did.
in
I
a
said
wheelchair.
no, James. I gave you shitloads of clues. Like it's Captain Jean-Luc Picard, and he spends most of his time riding around in a wheelchair. And then you went, "Oh, it's Xavier."
Thomas,
Yeah, but what's
please
his
enlighten me on this actor's name.
It's Patrick Stewart.
It's Patrick
It is
Stewart.
Patrick
That's
Stewart.
the answer. I have my point now.
It is, and Thomas is the one that
I can't
got it
believe
correct.
James dragged the full question out for like 6 minutes.
Thomas
One
is on
question in a
4
10-question
now.
quiz.
James is on 2.
I've won then.
Yeah, Thomas, you find the final question. Question number 10 is a ghost.
Casper.
Casper is not a king or a leader of anything.
Yeah, he
He's
is.
the youngest member of the house.
He's a leader of freedom, Joshua.
He's the leader of teenage love.
And ghost wanking.
Is this a play on a Ghost in the Shell?
No. Because it don't matter, you
Oh.
can both guess if you want. It's literally a ghost. It wears a crown. It's white. It's big.
Your penis?
Yeah, no, it's not big.
Oh, sorry, he said big. I thought you said he's not big.
It wears a crown.
Yeah? Joshua, my surname's King. Of course I put a crown on my penis. That's how I introduced
It's
him
got a
into it. I
3-letter
said,
name,
"Hello."
and it can drive a go-kart.
Boo.
Boo. Yes, King Boo.
Boo.
That's it. That is 10
Oh.
questions.
And what's the tiebreaker, motherfucker?
You really want to go through tiebreaker after this?
Just ask us it.
The tiebreaker is I want you to tell me who the Emperor of Outland is and Prince of the Shao Kahn. They are both Mortal Kombat characters.
Baraka.
No.
Snoop Dogg.
I can't remember enough about the Mortal Kombat story. This is the problem. Is it? I thought it was Outworld in Mortal Kombat, by the way, not Outland.
Outworld, Outland, whichever. I don't remember what I said.
I thought you said Outland, but because as soon as you said Outland, I was
You were
thinking World of Warcraft.
Yeah. Outworld, whatever it is.
Well, isn't one of them? Isn't one of them Shao Kahn? He's
Yeah,
one of them, isn't
Emperor,
he?
yeah.
I don't know which of the two he is, but
He at least
he's one of
was
the
the
leaders.
Emperor at some point, yeah. Prince of the Shao Kahn.
So that's Shao Kahn.
Or Shao Kahn. I'm not sure how to say
I'd call it Shao Kahn. We're not sure how to say anyone's name on this podcast. What was the other thing you wanted?
The Prince
Shao
of the
Kahn
Shao
and
Kahn.
what? Yeah, see, Shao Kahn is different to Shao Kahn. Shao Kahn's a character.
I didn't.
Just
Yeah.
to quickly interrupt
Yeah.
this question, I'm really sorry, but Joshua, you played DayZ, haven't you?
Yeah.
I've accidentally tied myself up with
Oh my god,
barbed
he's
wire.
been playing DayZ this entire podcast, and that's why I've been able to fucking hear his control clicking. Oh my god, I'm about to fucking punch him.
What is your DayZ related question?
How do you untie yourself from barbed wire?
I don't know. I've not walked into it
Because
like
I've-
a retard.
I've tied myself up in a house with barbed wire and I don't know how to get out.
Ah, dickhead. Joshua, can you tell us
Please.
the correct answer to your question? Because I don't know. And James is clearly occupied.
The Prince of the Shao Kahn is Goro. Or Goro.
Oh.
Goro. I didn't know he was
Okay.
a prince until I
Goro.
started looking at all these questions.
I did not either.
Is that not the geezer with 4 arms?
Yeah,
It
it's a
is
big dude with
indeed.
4
He
arms.
is
It
the
looks a bit
prince
like
of
an
his
orc.
people.
Yeah. Oh, get out of it. It's alright. I'm safe.
Cool. Oh yeah, my music. More importantly, how did you get out of it, James?
You hold right trigger to struggle.
Did you
It
not
sounds
cut
like you were
yourself?
struggling without holding the right trigger,
When-
to be fair.
I thought he was going to cut me up and kill me.
When
so
Craig
I
was
tried to
walking
avoid doing
without
that,
shoes
but
on, he
it
kept getting cuts on his feet. And how do you wriggle out of
Yeah,
barbed
he's not
wire? Are
bleeding
you
out.
bleeding from that or not?
No, surprisingly.
That is
I've just
weird.
ate my can of baked beans, though.
They don't fix open wounds. You've got to bandage that shit.
They do if you put them in it. Clog the hole.
Plug in the hole.
James is going to start Plants vs. Zombies on DayZ. He's just going to turn into a big bean plant or some shit. Congratulations, Thomas. You won my shoddy game.
Oh, yeah. Well done.
Yeah, I'm 10 wins now as well. I'm safe.
Yeah?
Can me and Joshua have a forfeit where we're like strapped to each other for 48 hours?
I can't do that.
That'd be quite funny.
No, I can't do that.
Why not?
Because I don't need to do a forfeit anymore.
I love how Joshua's like, no, I can't do that. He's happening.
James is up
This is
for
like the ravioli
anything.
incident all over
Right.
again.
Listen, James has already admitted on this podcast
shake mine, I'll
multiple
shake
times that he wheeze into plastic bottles, which
Yeah,
is
I know.
not right.
Yeah.
If I'm strapped to him, what is he going to do to go to the toilet
I'd
for a
get a big
shit?
enough bottle for...
I don't want to be
He's
involved
Get a
in
big
that.
enough bottle for both of us.
I'm just going to move us away from this before this conversation gets fucking weird.
Weirder than it is.
We still need a forfeit for James that will shame him and not just be a fun
Please
day out
me.
for him.
Could we just
Yeah,
Game
it's
of Thrones
fucking
shame him and shame him down street, strip him naked, make him walk and ring a bell?
We could, I guess.
Shame.
I guess we could shame him. It's the only thing I can think of right now, but he'd probably just
He'd
skip.
probably
I'd
like
love
it.
it.
We'll dress him up as Kirby.
He'd be like, look
and
at my
make him do
ginger
it."
balls! I got ginger pools, everybody! Take a look! Oh, just
And you said you were moving away from the weird subject.
Just do incoming so we can
Look at
leave.
my
Why do I
ginger
need to do them?
balls.
James has not done anything this show. He's reading them.
Oh yeah, it's James's turn, isn't it? James, you've got to do it. Put your DayZ down.
I put it down. I've restrained myself with barbed wire again anyway, so I can't. Just people don't think I've got anything. I've just stood in the middle of the street with barbed wire, tied my hands together. But yeah, so Joshua has something about getting old and still playing games.
Yeah, odd
Something
question.
along that. Yeah,
Yeah.
really weird one, but people actually
Weird flex,
quite,
but okay.
people actually quite enjoyed answering it. To be fair.
I noticed.
I-
I'm gonna stop.
So,
I'm
I'm just going to start posting all of Joshua's weird questions. Normally I ignore them. But apparently my real questions people don't give a shit about. Joshua's fucked up weird ones people are interested in. So I'm just going to post Joshua's fucked up weird ones all the time.
I was asked this question by someone, and they said, "Are you actually going to like play them until you're old?" And all right, yeah, it's my main hobby. I'm not going to stop doing my main hobby.
are you not going to name shame who it was?
No, because it's no one that you'll know. I just got asked it. And I just thought other people might want to answer that shitty question.
Just
So-
fucking get on with it.
Well, we've had the origin story from the question. Now let's get the answers. Craig Mitchell says, unlikely. At the minute, I rarely buy any new games because none really interest me.
Okay, hang on. For full context of this answer, the question was actually, when you're an old age pensioner, would you find yourself buying new games, new releases, and being like down with the kids, as Joshua put it, because current pensioners don't. And if they do play games, they play like fucking Solitaire and Minesweeper and Oregon Trail. I'm
And
just naming
sometimes
games
Candy
our grandparents
Crush.
played on their computer. So,
An Oregon Trail.
continue, James.
So yeah, Craig says, unlikely. At the minute, I rarely buy any new games because none really interest me. I'm in that boat as well, but that's because developers are shit. That's what I said, not what Craig said. Other than me buying DayZ this week, the next game on the horizon for me seems to be GTA 6 next year. Instead, I prefer games that have been around for years, i.e. Rocket League and GTA, with the occasional revisit to PUBG. The only game I'm proper pumped about coming out is that new Ghost Recon. other than that, I'd rather shit in my
You've got Daisy, and that's it.
Yeah, but that's not brand new, is it? It's a port from PC.
No, it's not.
It's been around a long time. And the other thing is as well, it's like not being hyped about new releases, I guess, is part of his point, isn't it? Which I'm very disillusioned with new games now. Like, I don't really care.
Borderlands 3
which is a sad place to be in, I guess.
And Pokemon.
I'm avoiding everything like that. Like, I'm not... As much as I'm really intrigued by Borderlands 3, I'm purposely just...
chill.
As shit as it is for a gaming podcast host, I'm not getting, like, hyped up by anything. I'll cover the stories and I'll talk about them and so on and so forth, but personally and emotionally, I am no longer invested in any game. Ever. Again.
After Anthem...
Until I renew my WoW subscription, I'm like, oh my god, what am I crafting to death?
I'm not getting as hyped for a game after what Anthem did to me. It hurt my soul.
What did Anthem do to you, Josh?
Basically, we've all been seriously hard dry-bummed by a game that we really wanted at some point.
Did Anthem break your Xbox, Joshua?
It broke my bum,
James.
James.
Xbox, didn't it? That's how I found out about it.
It broke my Xbox for a night.
It broke his Xbox Heinem.
All right then.
Oh shit!
Who's next?
Oh, sorry. I'm meant to be carrying on with these questions. Oh no, sorry. I ran down the street and tried to get inside the building, but it was locked. So Aaron J. Thomas says, unless everything has gone to multiplayer, I'll play games as long as they still release interesting content. And incidentally, my mother still plays games. It's a Wii, but I suppose that counts.
It does count.
That definitely counts. The picture that I used to portray this scenario Joshua told us about had old people with GameCube controllers, so make of that what you will. They were either playing Smash Bros. On the Switch with the converter, or they were playing a GameCube.
Or they were looking at the control thinking, what the fuck is this thing?
I think you'll find the two old people in the photo I chose were clearly enjoying something.
That was that vibrating butt plug.
What it was, and we will never know.
Oh, them eggs. Richard Bradley says, I've recently started playing Days Gone on PS4, but it's glitchy as hell. I think it's just
venting there, isn't it, Richard? It's just venting.
Fair one, Richard.
You did ask to.
I did put on the end of it. Well. I did put on the end of it that send in what else you want on top of this, because Joshua sent a weird question.
Yeah.
So. Thanks for letting us know, Richard.
Yeah, thank you as ever. David Underground Moo Faria says, King Bros, we're all going to be in those damn old homes playing Mario Party. Winner gets the Viagra.
Holy shit.
I don't need Viagra.
Just tens.
Well, then you won't have to win, will you?
It's a good job because I'm shit at Mario Party.
I quite enjoy it.
No, I've just realised.
I enjoy it, I'm just shit at it.
When I'm older, I'm going to go in a home, providing they've got games consoles. I've just decided. Because everyone will
if you've got a games console. Them. If you've got a games console in your room, that'd be sick.
It would be paradise.
It'll be like living in one of those YouTube houses where they've got like 8 or 9 people living in the same house and they all just play games.
Your kids Fuse and your grandkids turn up to visit you. And instead of them desperately wanting to leave, you're like, right, you can go now because I'm going to fire Xbox up. Bye.
Get out.
Pretend you don't know your own family so you can play games. Who are you?
Thomas, you've got visitors. Tell them I'm dead. I'm in the middle of a game like Call of Duty 74.
I don't know what's more fascinating about that. Either the fact it's Call of Duty 74 or the fact you're playing COD.
This new Modern Warfare really does it for Thomas. He's on the 10th reboot.
Continue.
Nat says, damn fucking straight I will. Games on my life. In capital letters.
Chipotle is my life.
Free Chipotle.
Free Chipotle.
Right, let's not go down that route. I'm just going to move us swiftly on. Deja and Tender will now Will Hodkin.
Just will.
Just will.
Thank you. I'd like to think I will be, but who knows what gaming will be like in 20 or 30 years. Do the people who gamed in the 80s and 90s still game now? Not too sure myself.
I answered this question with, of course I do. You're talking to one. But I think he meant people who were like our age in the 80s and played NES. I think we've got like sort of slightly older family members knocking around in the family who played NES and Mega Drive and old school like DOS games that still game to a degree. Not like we do, but I think there's people out there that we know, like within the family and friends and stuff, who were that era, I'd say.
Yeah. Well, Dan Smith has said, well, he's sent in his book.
Wow.
But I'm just going to blast through this and
Life
stop
and
me if there's
Times
any
of Dan
points you want to
Smith
go
going
through.
up now.
Yes, the beginning opening paragraph to Dan's new book is upon us now. And it starts off by saying... What?
The forward is what it's called.
Oh, well, that. I'm the eldest in my family, and I've grown up with consoles, and so have all my relatives. So growing old with video games is in my blood. I can fondly remember playing The Lion King on the Mega Drive with my younger sister and always getting stuck on the final level. We progressed later onto PlayStations and Xboxes, but the Mega Drive will always have a place in my heart. The newer games mean me and my stepson can have fun playing together, whether it be on the Switch, Xbox, or PlayStation, and it has that bonding that kids of today are getting used to. Hopefully when I'm older and greyer, me and him will be playing together. Hopefully by then he will got his own place of his own, but he's only 7 at the moment, so here's to hoping. Hopefully with how things are progressing, it will be like Ready Player One and an experience to behold. I can safely say that when I'm 90, I should be cracking out the retro console, probably my PS4, and reliving my youth in a care home surrounded by old farts. Maybe even have my wife, who hadn't touched a console since the Mega Drive until I got her into COD Zombies, playing with me and still spinning in the corner, trying to force her character into reloading their gun. Or maybe a zombie apocalypse happens and we're all eating each other's brains.
I was chuckling through that because of a direct message that Dan sent me after last week's episode, where he basically said that after Joshua struggled so much reading out his comment, as he always does, he decided he was going to write an actual giant paragraph, because we called it a giant paragraph last week. And he said, I'm actually going to do it. So I was like, go for it. And then he sent it, and I was like, rip Joshua. And then it ended up being James that's read it, and read it absolutely fine.
After I opened Discord for the first time earlier, and I saw Rip Joshua, I realised what was happening, and realised that I'm not doing it this week, so I'm safe, because I looked at the notes of the show, and like, fuck you, Dan.
That's why he handed it over when he did, James. That's where he was like, I've hosted a game, it's James's turn.
He should have just gone, I've seen that paragraph, I'm not doing that.
No, I didn't want to pull attention to the paragraph, because Thomas might have said, you're doing this one, Joshua.
Yeah, oh shit, I didn't think of that. Damn.
I realised who was in charge here. Continue, James.
Anything to add on? Dan?
I realised who was in charge here. Now continue.
It sounded like you were going to as well.
Does anyone have anything to add to Dan's paragraph?
I can't wait for the consoles that we're on now to be retro. Because they will be.
Yeah, imagine that.
Yeah, can you imagine the day that this is retro and what will have replaced it by then?
When you can't... It's like now you can't plug a lot of the old consoles into new TVs because they're all SCART. And they don't have SCART on the back of them all anymore.
Yeah, but you just get the thingy.
I know you can get a converter, but can you imagine what kind of converter you're going to need in 70 years to plug in your Nintendo 64.
Or just keep your TV as well.
You go up at Loft. I've got 4 setups. This TV works with these consoles. This TV works with these ones.
If you're a true gamer, you'll never take it down. Just leave it. What's that? Why is it so big? That is a Nintendo 64. And there's someone else on the Nintendo 98. And it's like...
But bear in mind, you're talking about how big a Nintendo 64 is. I'm fairly sure if I put that next to my Xbox One X, they're not that dissimilar in size.
A standard Xbox is like the biggest console. The OG Xbox.
What, the original Xbox?
That
the
thing
OG?
was a fucking...
Yeah, I think it's fucking huge.
It was like a
That's
suitcase.
Fucking mental. It was fucking massive. Can you remember what the original concept of the Xbox looks like?
Yeah, it had like a weird X on it, didn't it?
Cube.
Yeah, no, it was a giant X. Yeah. The original Xbox concept was a giant X. Yeah. Imagine if they'd made that.
Fucking hell.
I'd have loved it. Could have kept all your deodorants on it, like a weird sideways bookshelf.
Well, like me and Josh were at home on and it was like, oh, go bring Xbox downstairs, like the OG Xbox. I'd go upstairs to try and fucking carry the bastard. I need his help. We'd have to fucking chuckle brother it downstairs.
You'd have to roll it upstairs one X line at a time just to get it up.
Anyway, moving on. Brooke Archer says, me and my nursing home bitches gonna be racking up the points and WDCs on Formula 1 2087.
What's the WDC?
World Drivers' Championship.
Come on, Joshua. It's not World's Discovered Cox.
Come on, Joshua. I know you don't really watch it that much anymore, but you used to watch Formula 1.
Yeah,
I don't expect you to understand a reference like that.
I didn't understand the abbreviation of it. I know what it is.
I don't think James did either. That's why he read it as WDCs instead of World Drivers' Championship.
I know nothing.
I know nothing. I know nothing about the games. Just don't tell anyone about the games. I know that. You told me that last episode. Sorry, I've converted the Fawlty Towers scene into a direct conversation between me and James during the podcast. Continue.
Except you were doing both sides of the conversation.
I know, that was the point.
The best thing was he was talking to the right hand side of his mic.
Oh my god, stop
and
continuing this.
Going over to the left hand side of his mic.
Shut up and continue.
In 2007, is there going to be a Formula 1 or will it all be Formula E? Oh, back at a grid plug.
It'll be Formula Fly. It'll be Formula Wipeout by then. Why are you doing it? I love how you're doing it back at a grid plug and I'm not. Can we just continue?
Okay.
Oh, for God, just read the next question.
You are a waste of space.
Oh, whatever.
Cataclysm says, I like to think I'll be be a gaming granny one day. We will see.
Sounds fun? I don't know. Is it fun? Technically, our mother's a gaming granny in a way, in a weird way.
Really?
I don't know. Does she not still play Zelda on the DS?
No.
We need to get Mum a Switch. So. Mum would be down with Switch. She'd play Zelda Breath of the Wild.
Probably would. Probably not get what's going on, but yeah.
Yeah, and on the Spyro reboots on Switch, actually.
I don't know.
Christmas present.
Are you really going to get Mum a Switch for one game?
Can I get a Switch?
Here's Spyro.
Can I get one before my own mother does, please?
No. Spyro Reignited's coming to the Switch, so let's...
she can borrow my Xbox.
Look, listen. There's 3 of us. You 2 have practically got wives. It's easy enough to buy a Switch between us and give it Mum. And she'll be like, oh, this is delightful. And then what really happens is we all go around to see Mum and then play on the Switch together. Or,
better idea.
Or you just borrow it, James, from time to time.
And then never return it.
Yeah, and just, oh, sorry, I lost it. And then keep it.
I went swimming with it in my pocket.
So basically what's happening here is me and Joshua are helping James buy a Switch.
Yes.
Continue with the show, please.
Dummy 2008, Paul Carter of the Pole Posse.
Hi, Paul.
Hi, Paul.
Think I'm late, but defo will continue gaming in my late life, if I make it there with the ability to. Wonder what the gaming Wonder what the gaming of the future... Oh, yeah, that was right. Wonder what the gaming of the future will bring.
Okay, so James manages to read a wall of text that is Dan Smith's comment, but can't read a simple sentence.
Not easy, is it, James?
What? Right, Joshua, I tell you what, we'll go back. You read Dan Smith's comment.
No, can we just finish with Paul's comment? Because he'd literally put this in Discord like about 5 minutes ago.
Is that why it says, think I'm late?
Yeah, because he tagged me in it. And I heard it in my ear go, bloop, in Discord while we were talking, so I went and got it.
And it finally says, can see me still asking for sequels
Oh my
to
God.
games that will never get
Just
them.
read the whole thing again so it all makes sense.
Think I'm late, but Devil will continue gaming into my late life if I make it there with the ability to do so. Wonder what the gaming... Wonder what the gaming of the future will bring. Can see me still asking for sequels to games that will never get them.
And for those that aren't so regular listeners, you'll notice that every single week we ask a question. If you went back through old episodes, Dummy 2008 Paul Carter says things like he wants Shenmue sequels and other things. He's constantly asking for sequels that don't exist anyway, and possibly never will. So that's the reference there. And that's it, isn't it, James? That was the last one, since I got that during the episode.
Yes, it was indeed the last one.
Cool. I guess on that note, then, it is time to go, because I want to go play Ring of Elysium. That is it for this week. If you'd like to follow us and stay in touch, you can do so by finding us on Twitter, which is that_king_thing. We are on Facebook. Just search for That King Thing and like the page. And you can find us online at thatkingthing.com, where there is a link to the YouTube channel, which we've successfully not been banned from for another week. Their Discord, which Cataclysm has decided to single-handedly revive, and merch and Patreon and all that jazz. So thank you very much for joining us for another episode. We hope to see you. Know that you are listening. I don't know. Goodbye.
Breathe into your ears.
Bye,
We hope to breathe into your ears in a sexual manner next week.
What the fuck's going on?
Who made that noise?
It was me.
That was all James.
I feel sorry for Kate. Goodbye, everyone.
James, can you do?
Yes.
Can you do just one minute's worth of sexy ear breathes, please?
Yeah.
No.
Because I'm gonna piss myself if you
All I
do.
can hear is the dog in the background making like sighing and whining noises.
I think that's James.